This is Steve Wolf with a special edition of Steve's Stock Stories. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what the heck is going on with GameStop and Reddit and some of the other stocks that have gone crazy on the stock exchange over this last week. So the story right now about what's happening is that there seems to be a fight between the short sellers and the buyers of GameStop. And there are other stocks that are doing the same thing. But let's talk about GameStop because that seems to be the focal point of what's happening. Basically, what's going on is there is a stock forum called Reddit. And Reddit has something like 3.6 million people in it. And it's kind of a discussion site on the internet where people talk about many things. But one of the areas is called Wall Street Bets. And Wall Street Bets has been pushing people to buy the shares of GameStop. Why? Partly they're doing it, mainly they're doing it because the stock was so heavily shorted. Now, what does short selling mean? Basically what that means, and we've talked about this in a previous edition of Steve's Stock Stories, but short selling basically means you borrow stock from someone, you then go and sell it on the market, and eventually you have to go buy it back again. So theoretically, there's no limit to how much you can lose because when you buy it, you've got to buy it at whatever price the market's at. And if the market keeps going up and up and up and up, you're losing more and more and more and more. Well, that's exactly what was happening to some of these hedge funds. Specifically, Melvin Capital has been pointed out as one that has just been brought to its knees. It had a heavy position that was short in GameStop. So they expected the stock to go down. Because again, remember, they borrow the stock and they have to buy it back at some point. So what they really want is for that stock to go down, they buy it back, and they've made money. But what happened is now that all these people on Reddit are saying, buy GameStop, buy GameStop, buy GameStop, and there's more and more and more people driving the price of GameStop higher. Well, eventually the short sellers are saying, well, wait a minute, I'm losing my rear end on this, so I better start covering that short. By covering, that means they have to buy it back. But meanwhile, they're losing more and more money. Now on Reddit, on the Wall Street Bets site, there are a lot of people who have been just cheerleading this, and so a lot of the members of this particular website are saying, well, we're all going to buy it and we're going to stick it to the hedge funds. Well, in fact, that's exactly what they've done. And part of me says yay because I don't like it when stocks that I own get shorted, but there's a reason that stocks do get shorted. Mainly it's because of valuations. A lot of people thought that GameStop was a very poor company and that it really wasn't worth much at all. As a matter of fact, they might even go out of business. And even the people I think who are on Reddit right now who are buying the stock might tell you the same thing, but they don't care. So they're making money as the stock goes up. Now, I will tell you that I think that's a dangerous game. And why is it dangerous? Because the last one in is going to get their head handed to them, and it's almost a short squeeze in reverse. So a short squeeze, again, is when company is short, lots of people go in and buy it, the price goes up, and the shorts have to cover. Well, in this case, when you've got lots of people who are buying the stock and it's going up from what was at one point $5 or $10 a share to $500, $600, $7 a share, those people who are buying at $500 or $600 or $700, they could be exposing themselves to a lot of loss because at some point in time, there has to be a real value for what the company's worth. And if the company's not making money, if the company's not doing well, at some point, that stock price should go down in a normal market. So be very, very careful if you're out there doing those things. Now, the way this is really affecting the rest of the market is those hedge funds they're big. So when they're losing money, what they have to do is, because they're borrowing money, they're leveraged, and leverage is always the thing that hurts people. They've got to come in and either bring more cash in to cover those positions that they had shorted, or they need to sell. If they don't have the money, sell other positions that they have to raise the money. So what's happening now is a lot of these hedge funds are starting to sell their winners, their good stocks, the stocks that a lot of you may own. All right, so there is some danger in that. Now, is it illegal? So far from what I've seen, it's not necessarily illegal, but it's pushing it, because basically what they're doing is saying, let's all band together to move the price of the stock without any relationship to whether that makes sense or not. Still not illegal, but I think it skirts the issue. So the SEC is, of course, going to be investigating. Meanwhile, one of the firms, Robinhood, which is one of the brokerage firms that a lot of the young people have been on, decided that they were going to stop trading in GameStop and some of these other stocks. And of course, the people on Robinhood were very upset, and I don't blame them. All of a sudden, the brokerage says, "Hey, you can't buy anymore." I'm not sure that that's fair. The SEC is going to look into that. So basically, what's happened is you've had a giant short squeeze. Be careful, though. If it were me, I would not be playing in this particular game, because when it goes the other way, it's going to go fast, and it's going to be this will not end pretty, one way or the other. So as far as the overall market is concerned, this may be a cause for the market retracting a little bit as some of these stocks are being sold, the good stocks being sold. But I don't think we're in a recession or anything like that, because so far the economic numbers that have come out have been pretty good. Most of the earnings numbers have been pretty good. So not sure I would get, too worried about what's going on with the whole market. I do expect at some point there's going to be a retracement of some of these gains. Nothing goes straight to the moon, including GameStop. So be careful out there. And of course, if you have any questions, it's always good. You can always give us a call, or you can always contact me at WWMFinancial.com. So thanks a lot for listening. We'll see you the next time.